happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me here tonight. We are going to work on the binding of the koala quilt. So here we go, our cute little koala quilt. I think we're actually going to get around this corner today, so that'll be fun. So thank you guys for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. It's a time that we can relax and craft together. So I'm here for about an hour. And I work on projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the whole process along the way. One quick reminder, today it's the last day of June and it is the last day you can get our embroidery of the month. And here we have our little stitchin' hedgie. This is a pre-printed drawstring bag. We do still have these bundles available, so if you thought you missed out on the bundle, the drawstring bag, we still do have those just till the end of the night. So midnight Central Time, we will be switching it around and you'll get July's embroidery of the month after that. So thanks again, guys. If you're just joining, we are going to be working on the koala quilt some more. We are still not done with this. We are going around and around with the binding. So more stitching that cute binding on tonight. And like I said earlier, I think we'll just get to the corner tonight. So we'll be stitching around there. Oh, and I just wanted to share, if you missed last night, we made cute pom-poms out of leftover embroidery floss. So we have this one, and then we attempted to do like a rainbow and some grass there with some sky and like a cloud on the back. This is my attempt at a rainbow and a cloud. So we kind of go over the process of how to actually draw a picture. And you could also just make some fun, cute little guys with just some flecks of color in like that. And I use these for like wrapping presents and that sort of thing. So check out last night's video if you want to see how we did that. I use my leftover embroidery floss from all our different projects that we work on together to make to make these. So all right, wanted to share. So I'm gonna flip you around. Let's get going with this binding tonight. Okay, so here is the quilt all bunched up here on my table. And we do have, we have the bottom completely done, and now we're going up the left side here. So we're going to continue with that. So I have, this is where we left off. I have about, 2 feet left. So actually, we might not quite get to that corner. We'll be close. We're going to try and get there. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to bring you down here, and we'll give this a go. And let me just try and focus this camera a little bit so it works for us here tonight. Okay, right there is where we're going to start stitching. Okay. Let's see how it goes. All right, I have my thread. And I am just using like a small, like universal sharps needle. I think that's just going to work a-okay. All right, let's grab some thread. And I'm just using that 50 weight Aurifil floss thread. Speaking of Aurifil, you guys, July, I am the Aurifil Designer of the Month for their Designer of the Month quilt. So that will be coming out the 15th of the month, so stay tuned to the 15th for that. I'm stoked, and we'll be stitching that live. And I guess just on that note, we will have a little bit different schedule next month, so we can start the Aurifil block of the month right when it comes out. So I think it comes out on a Wednesday. The 15th is a Wednesday. So we will do other stuff during the week up to that point, and then we'll switch over to the embroidery of the month. Not the embroidery of the month, the Aurifil block of the month. And then right when we're done with that, we will start stitching the embroidery of the month. So that's the difference in the schedule. I think, well, and then this week. So this week is kind of goofy too, because it's half of June and half of July. So we don't really have a full first week. Usually during the first full week of the month, we work on the granny square quilt. Well, this really isn't a first full week. So next week we're going to consider the first full week. So this week is where it's up for grabs. So I think we might actually do a lot of stitching on this binding, because this would be nice to get significantly farther on. Gosh, I might switch needles, you guys. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of this one. We'll stitch to the end. I'm just using a normal little universal sharps needle. So it is sharp. It's kind of short. It's a little thicker than I want. So I think I couldn't decide what needle. I couldn't remember what needle I was using on this. And I think before, now that I'm stitching with this, I think for sure I must have been using my straw needle, or Milner's needle, which is a little bit longer than this. It's actually almost twice as long as, well, maybe not quite twice as long. And it's also a little bit thinner. The one I have is thinner than this, and I think that's going to feel a little bit better. But we're going to continue with this until I run out of thread. Nora's asking, Alyssa, can you make an iron mat out of a placemat? I would think. I mean, you're going to want some sort of thickness to it. Like, I would want something underneath it still that's not going to damage, whatever the bottom surface is. But I think if you did like a placemat on like a piece of wood or something, like attached it to something like that, I think that would work fine. You could maybe put a little bit of batting or something underneath so it's a little poofier. Oh, and oh yeah, Colleen says, will you remind me how the weeks go? First full weeks of the granny square. So yes, so typically, again, this month is a little bizarre. It's going to be a little off, and that's again because, first of all, we got a weird first week of the month that's kind of split, half June, half July, and my Aurifil block of the month, the one that I designed, is coming out, so I want to stitch that right away. Typically we wait. So typically our month goes the first full week, we work on the granny square quilt. And I'm missing that. I can tell we haven't worked on that for a month because I really want to get going on that again. So the first full week is the granny square quilt. The second full week is the Splendid Sampler 2. So I'm still working through my Splendid Sampler 2 blocks. Week 3, we stitch the embroidery of the month. And week 4, we work on whatever the new Aurifil block of the month is. So that's our typical schedule. Along with a Finish It Friday, the first Friday of the month, we work on something that we haven't worked on in a while, just to move it a little further. Something that's been sitting around. That's the first Friday of every month. So this month, we kind of have a whole week of Finish It Friday, really. So this like end of June, beginning of July here, we're going to just work on whatever we want here. Rebecca's asking, how wide was this binding cut? Well, we can measure. I think it was was it 2 1/4 or 2 1/2 inches? I suspect it was 2 1/4 inches. So this is, about 1 1/8 inch. So that times 2 is 2 1/4. So it's folded in half. So it's folded in half the really long way. So here's the fold. So 2 1/4. I know a lot of people like to do 2 1/2. I'm using a pretty thin batting here. I'm using a cotton batting that's thin. So when I wrap it around, if I had a really thick batting, and maybe I would use a little bit wider binding, because I gotta take into account like this sideways view, the thickness of it. But I don't know. Actually, we just barely, all this is donated fabric except for my little, well, it's actually donated for my mom, so it's hers. But the rest of the fabric is donated, and we had just enough of this binding fabric for the binding. So I suspect even if we did a 2.5 inch instead of 2.25 inch wide binding, we wouldn't have had enough. So it worked out perfectly. Oh, Carol says, I want to start on the granny square quilt, but haven't decided on a background fabric. My stash is unimpressive. I'm just going to say it will be impressive when you sew it together for this granny square quilt. It's so fun how these things combine together. It's just really neat. Like, I really don't think you can go wrong, really. It's going to look interesting and fun, and with whatever fabrics you pick. So if you haven't started it yet, be sure to watch my videos, some of my beginning videos. My first video on the granny square quilt, we talk about color and picking colors, and I had a specific goal with my granny square quilt. I wanted it to reflect the color of the year. So the Pantone, that color company, the Pantone color of the year is that classic blue. And the Kona color of the year, that Kona fabric company, their color of the year is actually kind of like this emerald green. I think they might even call it emerald green. Yeah, I think they might call it emerald green. So those are kind of the two color of the years that I wanted to design with, but I didn't actually have much of either of those colors. So we had to kind of design around it. So if you want to watch a video to kind of help you choose fabrics and go through your stash a little bit, you can watch that one. And then also, it looks very patchwork-like, the granny square quilt, but it's really not. And you can use fat quarters for a little of it, but really it should be kind of longer strips. So you're going to want full width of fabric. Otherwise, you're going to have to sew some together to make the strips, which is fine too. Oh, Bonnie, it is. So Bonnie says, Alyssa, isn't your birthday in July too? It sure is. It is actually Monday. So I might actually take off Monday this month too. It's July 6th. So that's this coming Monday, right? I think so. So I'll keep you guys updated. But we might just be sitting in the backyard and picking weeds and drinking coffee. I think that's kind of what I want my day to be for my birthday. Just chill outside, drink coffee, maybe I'll read my book, and then we'll have a little campfire or something. So I think that's the plan. But yeah, it is a big month. Lots going on. Oh, Dava says, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. Dava says, oh, we are birthday buddies. Hers is Monday too. Oh, that's awesome. Fun. So let me know what you're doing for yours. Oh, Karen's brother is the 7th. Whole lot of summer birthdays. Oh, Mary Jo says hers is the 13th. Nice. The one thing is, I never got to bring a treat to school. In elementary school, everyone brought cake or something on their birthday, but I never had a school birthday. I know I probably just said this before, but the joke for my birthday growing up always was my mom and brothers, their birthday sometimes ends up on Easter. Every once in a while, one of theirs will be on Easter, and my dad's, every once in a while, it will be on Thanksgiving. And mine, I always wondered why it never is going to land on the 4th. Why is it going to ever land on Independence Day? Everyone else, it kind of lands on a holiday every once in a while, but mine never, ever, ever landed on July 4th. So never, ever. That was always the joke, though, because I asked that when I was little. Oh, Dow says we're gonna just hang out at home with our littles and hubby. We'll cook dinner. Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah, I'm hoping maybe we can grill something. But yeah, just chill outside. We're not doing anything. Coming close to the end of this first thread. That's good. Then I will switch threads, I think. Oh, Luann says hers falls on Easter sometimes. Yep, could never get on that 4th. It was always 2 days later. Always so close. Oh, and it's Dee Dee's birthday tomorrow. Ooh, July 1st. Happy birthday. That's nice. Oh, Gretchen's daughter is the 20th. Oh, your grandson's is the 4th. They made it on the 4th. Funny. I think the story too is that my dad had to buy an air conditioner for the hospital or something. A window. Because it was so hot. Ooh, now this is kind of funny. This white is printed on here, and it's actually kind of hard to stitch through. Gotta really stab it. All right, we're getting there. This is actually going a bit faster than I thought, so that's great. I think we'll definitely get to that corner. And then at that point, I think we have 3 corners done. So we have the full top and basically the full right side, but not quite. I think I might be like a foot up on the right side. Oh, but oops, see, getting close to the end, I keep losing my thread then. But these sides, I mean, they're long. Oh, thanks, Linda. Linda says that quilt is just so cute. I'm telling you, I think this is my favorite quilt that I've worked on, and it's just so neat seeing all of your guys' embroidery. So if you guys haven't seen this quilt before, we are gonna still donate it. We're gonna auction it, and then we're gonna donate the proceeds to Australians for Animals. We've already donated to them, and everyone who bought a pattern, that money is what got donated. And then everyone who bought a pattern, they stitched it and then sent it back to me. So all of these are like a bunch of you penguin and fish lovelies stitched these and sent them back, and then my mom and I sewed them all together with all your scrap fabric. So all of this fabric, like all these bits, are cut off from other koalas within the quilt, and we kind of just improv pieced it together. And yep, and we're still finishing up. Who knew that there was going to be more drama in the world? This mega drama past the crazy Australian brush fires, which was in January, right? I mean, it's like a century's worth of more drama since then, right? But we still are going to auction this off and donate it. So first we're going to finish it, and then I will work that up and make an announcement and stuff. Send out some emails and all that. Oh, Linda says hers is there somewhere. Yeah, it's funny seeing them sideways because we're in this part of the quilt. They'll soon all be upside down. I think they're so fun. But yeah, totally my favorite quilt. Ugh. So let's see. I'm right where the seam is now, and that means there's a lot of thick fabric here. I wish I had my other needle right now, but I'm gonna try and get through a little bit. I'm almost done with this flaw, or this thread. Getting there. I'll do like 3 more stitches, and then I'll switch needles and get more thread. We'll see if it feels different. Okay, one more. I'm gonna just wrap around that same spot again. And then we'll tie a knot here. We'll just wrap around this knot. There we are. Tuck in that thread. All right. Let's snip that. Okay, now let's get Zeb out here again. Okay, here's Zeb. He's my needle master here. All right, let's get rid of this guy. So I think what I really wanted to be using is, ooh, that's a pretty bendy one. I think they are bendy though. I want a thin one. Okay, this one. So I'm going to use this straw needle. So I'll show you the one I was using. So this is what I was using, and this is the one I'm going to switch to now. So you can see it's a bit longer. It's at least a 1/4 inch, probably more like a 1/2 inch longer, and it is a bit thinner. So the size of this needle is thinner. And I think it's just going to glide through my fabric a little bit easier, and it just being a little bit longer, I think it's going to be just more comfortable too. So, all right, bye. Okay, now I need thread. Ugh. Yeah, Noeline says they're really worried about the koalas and are worried that wild free koalas could become extinct in the future. Yeah, it's just like hurts in the chest thinking about all that. It's just too much. So yeah, so I'm hoping, I wanted to. It would have been neat to do like a raffle, but again, I think there's kind of like lottery, gambling laws and stuff against that. So we're going to do an auction. So I hope there's someone out there who will want to bid a bunch for the quilt, because then we can donate more, and someone is going to get like just the, oh shoot. Someone's going to get just the neatest quilt. And I would love to do another project like this sometime. This is really fun. All right. I got a little bit longer thread than I probably should have here. My thought was, oh, I want to make it around the that corner, but I think I got a little long here, so hopefully we don't get it tied in a bunch of knots. So all right, coming back up. I didn't really show this earlier, so I'll do it again now. So I'm just in the back of the thread. The thread is in the back. It's not in the binding piece at all. And I'm going to come up through the binding right where it is, the same spot really as where it is in the back. And I'm going to go around that one more time, that spot, just to kind of lock it in. And now I'm going to go in the same spot, but just the back, and I'm going to angle up about a stitch length away. I'm going, maybe shy of 1/4 of an inch. But I'm going to come up. I'm going up at an angle, just barely, and I'm coming up through both the back and the binding. All right, so that's our first stitch. And then again, I'm just going to cross from the binding to the back, but basically the same spot, but I'm just in the back now, not both. And then we're going to angle back up another stitch length away. So that's the game here. Just a whole bajillion of those, and we'll have it. Oh shoot. Yep, like I was thinking, we're just gonna be full of knots. I should have I do have wax. Ugh, where though? In theory, all my supplies are right near me, but now I'm thinking, where is that wax? I should really try and get some thread conditioner. I think Blair from Wisecraft Handmade, I think she sells thread conditioner now. I think it might actually even be her brand of it, so I'll have to take a peek at that. Maybe I'll order some of that. Because, yeah, for these binding quilts, when I'm working a lot with this thread, that might be nice. See ya, Dee Dee. Ah, goodness. Gosh. It's so funny because whenever I work with a little thread like this, I feel so clumsy because I'm so used to working with our big embroidery floss, and that's got a bigger needle and all that. So whenever I switch to just little baby floss or thread and tiny needles, I definitely feel clumsy. It's just wrapping around itself. I'm going to see if I can find some of that before we get to the edge here. Oh, here we go. Like it's in my travel craft kit, but I couldn't see that. So there we go. This is pretty old, but I'm thinking it's still going to work. So I'm going to just, it's just like a chunk of wax in here. Like beeswax. This probably, I don't know. In theory, this is beeswax. I don't know. I think we found this somewhere. But the theory is it should be kind of more like beeswax. Can't even make it through there. It's this end is getting wrapped around everything. Let's get that end waxed. So this just basically conditions the thread. It should make it just kind of like a hair, thicker, I suppose, but just a bit more manageable. All right, so I didn't get like this part, but the rest of this, I think it already feels like it's heavier and not twisting up. So let's see if that does the trick here. And this needle is definitely nicer. It's stabbing through, I said on these bees, that white feels thicker. Oh yeah, this is much better. Much better. It didn't look like it was getting curled up on itself at all, really. Great. Okay. Whew. I feel better now. But yeah, this needle is just thinner. It just goes through the fabric better. There, we still got a little knot there. Ugh. If you do get one of these loopy knots, this is pretty common. Like, so a loopy knot like that, try putting the needle right in the loop and pulling up. Like, if you pull on one side, of the thread, it'll get tighter, so you don't want that one. But if you pull on the other, the knot will slide up to the top of the needle. So now my knot's way up there, and then I can take it out and then just give it a little pull, and the knot will pop out. So whether you get that knot in embroidery or just on the thread like this, and you'll recognize it. Like, it's that bunny-eared loopy knot. Just try next time to put the needle in there and pull one of the sides until it goes up to the needle. Then it'll just pop. All right. So we got about 5 more inches or so, I would say, before we're to this corner. Oh, thanks, Kathy. I love it so much. Kathy says, "Can't believe how lovely this quilt is." Oh, and hi, Brenda. Hello from Canada, she says. Ooh, I think I might have... Oh, no. I thought maybe I stitched through, all the way through to the front. I thought I felt the thread go through, but guess not. Ooch, stabbed myself. Gotta do that at least once when I am using a needle. All right, we're getting there. There's the corner. So I'm gonna just go ahead and kind of pop this inside out. I'm really gonna kind of stuff this corner right in there, and there now it'll be going this way. So our plan is, I'm gonna stitch this till I'm about, the same distance as this away from the edge. So I'm gonna go about to right there. We're gonna flatten this all out, and I should be able to then pull it over this way. And yeah, it's looking right. Then we'll be able to stitch that up. Let's try and get that a little more firmly in there. All right. So that's the goal. So I have it started to flip over, but I'm going to keep stitching till I'm about that, however half inch or so away, however wide this binding is. Ah, goodness. Oh, Kimberly says, hello, Kimberly. Kimberly says, I'm new, heard about you from So Becca. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm happy you're here, Kimberly. So I think tomorrow, you guys, will keep working on this quilt, because like I said, I'd love to get this done as soon as we can so we can auction it off. I know I probably chose the slowest way to do the binding, but I love hand stitching bindings like this. I mean, we could have just machine stitched it on, I suppose, but I like this. Oh, we also still need to do that, the tag for it, the label. So I have one extra koala. We'll take that and we'll write some notes on. So I'm gonna definitely have you guys, when we get that far, help me with what text we should include. Maybe we'll just write it with a permanent marker, because I have a feeling we'll want to write a lot, and that would take ages to embroider. So maybe I'll just do it with a permanent, like a micron pen or something. We'll see. But I think we'll definitely want a little info about this project, and that all you guys stitched one of the koalas and sent it to me, and then we made it up, and I think that's awesome. Oh, Kimberly says I don't. Oh, it says I like hand doing my binding. Me too. So it's binding, hand doing a binding. That's your it's real hot or real cold. There's no one kind of in the middle on this. So you either love it or you hate it. Is kind of seems to be the deal, and I just love it. It's just so relaxing, and it's putting that finishing touch on a quilt, and I just really like it. All right, I'm about that little bit away here, so I'm going to again. I'm trying to get about the width of my fabric. I think I'm a little bit in a little bit, but all right. So let's make this really flat. Let's get this point as you know. When I put this flat all the way out like this, I want that point to go right up to the edge. So I'm just kind of getting my finger in there, that point from the other side there. And then I'm going to fold over. I'm going to unfocus for a sec because my lighting changes, and I think you'll be able to see a little bit better if I... There. So this point right here, I know we're focusing a lot, but I'll switch it back. So on this side, I want that hole to be right up to the edge, and then I'm going to fold on that edge. I'm trying to have really precise folds because what I want is this to go right in line, the point to go right in line here, and look at this point now. Again, sorry, we're going to try and focus here. Come on, guy. There we go. So this point is right in line with this. Here, I'm going to just try and focus it. Okay, so now we should be focused on that. So see how those meet up right at the top? That's from really kind of digging in there and forming it just right. Okay, so now I went a little too far, but I'm going to just jump back to here while these points are meeting, and I'm going to go around that area a couple times just to kind of lock this in place. And you know what? I think we're actually going to stitch down our edge. It's a nice little finishing touch. I never used to do this, but now I do. I just think it looks really nice. So it's just a little detail. So I'm going to go up, kind of like how we're doing the binding, but I'm going to go up on that line. What this is going to do is it's going to hold down our fold really nicely. So I'm going to just stitch up the edge here. It's funny because sometimes, I'll hear something like, oh, you should stitch up the edge of this. And I'm just like, ugh, that sounds like just an extra moment that would take time and not matter at all. But it is like all those things do add extra little touches. Like, see now, look how nice, how flat and nice that lays, that fold. It's just like a perfect little miter. So I like that a lot. So we're going to actually jump over onto the other side. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing, just this little bit down here. Just probably one stitch, really. Stabbed myself again. Okay, and then, yeah, you know what? I think I'll probably go through this spot one more time just to kind of lock it in place. Okay, and now I'm going to zoom to the back here again and try and get all the way back down to the corner. Getting there. I think that's probably close enough. And then I'm going to add some stitches on that corner again. But there we go. Now we have another nice little stitched edge there. And then we can actually turn and start the next side, but I'm going to go in this spot like one more time here. There we go. All right. And then we can just continue. I rotated, and now I'm going to go down this edge. So like I said, this is corner number 3, I believe. So we're now stitching the top. kind of got a lot of stitches in there, but I think that's fine. Ooh, and it looks like I may have got, like, tacked it down a little bit on the other side. Ugh, that's kind of a bummer, but oh well. I'm not going back. Oh, thanks. So Carol just posted the pattern for this. So yeah, so I'm still collecting for donations and stuff. So when you buy the koala pattern, whether you get the PDF, the printable PDF version, or the paper version, there's a paper one. Oh, and I also have a bundle. So I have a bundle with the floss and a pre-printed stick and stitch stabilizer, so you can print or you can stitch right through that. I do have that available there too, and that all gets donated. And there's an area to do an extra donation too if you want. And that's the deal. And then when we're done with this, we're gonna auction it off. And then, then I'll ship it to the person who won the auction and send Australians for Animals some more money to help the koalas. I'm curious, like, gosh, with all the COVID and everything else that's happening, I'm sure a lot of attention was taken off of the brush fires, like the Australian brush fires, and all the animals that still need help there. So I'm wondering what the state of that is. So I'm sure they still need our help, and that's what we're still collecting money for. Oh, that's true. Most people won't notice that funny little stitch that I put there. Oh, Terry says that she finds hand stitching the binding relaxing. Me too. One of my favorite things. Oh, Kimberly over on YouTube is asking, can you show the pattern and bundle, please? It's on, if you go to penguinandfish.com, I believe I have a link below. If you want a quick link, it's koala-fundraiser after it, but there it has the bundle. It's just a simple bundle. It has a piece of fabric, it has floss, the floss colors. You'll get the PDF version of the pattern emailed to you, and then there's a pre-printed stick and stitch stabilizer, which is one of my favorite products. The pattern will be printed on it already, and then you stick it to your fabric like a sticker and stitch right through it, and then it comes off in water. It's my favorite way to transfer a design to fabric. So that's what's in the bundle. Oh, Barbara says, if anyone needs a hug in a quilt, they will bid on it. It looks very snuggly. It sure is snuggly. And I hope it gets used. Quilts are meant to be used and loved. And I think with all these smiley koalas on it, I think that all you guys made, I think whoever is going to have it, it's going to be very lucky. A lot of love went into this for sure. If you guys are just coming in, all the koalas on this quilt were, oh, it's out of focus again now. So all the koalas on this quilt were stitched by just you guys, our Penguin and Fish family here, our viewers and customers, and just all you lovely people. So they're all different, and they're all just so lovely. Look at the little orange guy. Like, they all have their own personality, and that's what I love. Even though, it's the same pattern. Even, people who stitched the bundle, which these are the colors in the bundle. Even those, everyone's stitch is just is just different, and it's just really wonderful to see them all. Oh, Noeline. So Noeline's from Australia, and she's connected with Australians for animals, and she says we have had heaps of rain in the areas burnt. Oh, that's great. And everything's rejuvenating. Trees are shooting, new leaves and grass growing. A number of the injured koalas have been returned to the wild. Oh, well, that's good news. It's just heartbreaking. Ugh, yeah. Like I said, it just is like a punch in the chest. Oh, Kimberly says, cool, I never heard of the stitch stabilizer. So it is by a company called Sulky. I think I might have some above me. Haha, within arm reach. So this is what it is. It's by Sulky. It's called Stick and Stitch. And it's great because you can print it right on your home printer, whether it's an inkjet or a laser. I typically do it on a laser. And then it pulls off like a sticker. The best part is this, because then you don't have to trace any designs, and your line is exactly perfect because you're printing it directly from the actual pattern. It pulls off like a sticker, you stitch right through it, and then it comes off in water. Maybe not quite as easily as this, but it does come off in water. I use it a ton. And we included, in most of our embroidery of the months, this month was a little bit different, but most of the time I include a piece of that pre-printed. Like, I'll print it for you already, but you could use it for anything you want. Like, that pack comes with, I think, 12 sheets. Yeah, 12 sheets, and they're the size of, the 8.5 by 11, which fits in like a US printer, or any printer that does like letter size. So it's letter size, 8.5 by 11, and you just stick it in there and print out whatever design you want on there. But it's just so nice not to have to trace. Not that I don't entirely mind tracing, but you're always going to have like a second generation of whatever the design is, right? Because you're having to trace it. Versus this, you have it direct from the design, which is cool. Oh, you can see yours right there on the top, the colored background with the two colors. The colored background. Oh, right here. There you go. Ugh, adorable. Love it. They're just all so fun. This one has got colored in too. They're all just so sweet. I used a lot of this teal and green are within the rest of the quilt too. And even, like, here's this purple one. There's a purple strip. So all the bits that we cut off of the finished koalas that got sent to us, we used elsewhere in the quilt as little borders or little dividers here and there. Oh, Barbara says she loves that one. Yeah, they're all so fun. Ugh. I'm gonna be sad when I have to ship this away. I'm actually, now I think of it, a little scared to do that. We'll insure it and all that. I'll have to take some nice pictures of this too before we ship it away too. So gotta get this binding done and the label so we can do all that. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought I was gonna lose my needle there. So I'm gonna go tonight till I'm done with this thread. There's a little bit yet, so some more minutes. We're cruising though. We got a foot from the corner already. So I'd say we've got, 3 feet's worth under our belt tonight. So I don't know. Probably at least another week of stitching on this, really, if I'm if I'm being realistic, I think. But I think we'll work on this the next few days. It'll be nice to get this finished. All right. This bee fabric was kind of cute. So this was donated as well. So I think there's 2 fabrics that we added. That little bit of the penguin and fish fabric. So this is some of my fabric that my mom had, and then we needed, I don't know, a big chunk for the back yet. So mom had some extra fabric that we threw on the back as well. But the koala is actually in the collection there, in the fabric there. Oh, Christy is asking, do I have some hand stretches that I do after stitching? So I don't do them like I should, but I do like this one a lot. This one, put it together, and if you raise up, try and keep your palms together like this and raise them straight up. They're going to want to bend more and more and come apart. And then just this way going down. I find those two nice for the wrist. I mean, I can tell I'm doing stuff. So those two mainly. I do try and stretch the shoulders a little bit when I'm done here. This is actually quite a lot of work for your shoulders and back and everything too, not just the hands. But I do that like praying down and then this one up. That I find helpful. Shirley's asking, is my fabric available anywhere? You can probably find some if you do a Google search. So do a search for, Clothworks is the manufacturer. So I would do a search for Clothworks, Alyssa Thomas, Penguin and Fish, fabric, and then see what comes up. I've found some on Etsy. I don't have any yardage anymore of it. Like a year or two ago, we had a sale of all the rest of my yardage. I actually have a little bit here and there. I don't have any of that fabric though, I don't think. But yeah, it's been a few years since I did design fabric, but I did like 10 collections worth, so it's out there. But I've been thinking that'd be maybe fun to do again, to find a manufacturer to work with and do some fabric again. Oh, I figured that this. Okay, so PJ is saying that this was just for me to see the 3 different colors I used. I liked it. I thought it was a fun way to I figured that's what it was. I figured this probably wasn't really part of it, but I kept it in. I thought it's just a nice process piece to have in there, something that people could think about and wonder about, and I didn't want to change it. I liked it. It's staying there now. I like it there. I suppose I could take it out if you really want me to, but I thought it was fun. It shows the hand of the maker in there. Oop. we're getting there. I got maybe about 10 inches of thread left here, so. Oh, she says, you can leave it, that's okay. I like it there, I think it's fun. The little danglers. I'm happy with the progress we made on this today. Going around a corner, that's always, can sometimes be a little goofy, but I think it turned out well, and we got at least 2 feet done on the other edge to finish that edge, and we got at least 1.5 foot here now. That's good. Ooh, Amy says, I have another new addiction. I'm using embroidery and making pin cushions. That sounds like fun. Oops. I'm starting to pull the thread out of the needle. That's when I know that I'm getting close to the end. Ooh, I'm going through one of those wings that are a little wider, or stiffer, I mean. Ugh, come on, there we go. Oops. Few more stitches. I think we're getting to the end of this thread, though. If I have like a little like fuzzle like this, I'll just tuck it up underneath the binding to hide it away. I think we'll call it right here. I'm going to go around this spot one more time. And then into the edge again, where it'll be hidden. Alright, and then we'll just tie a little knot here. Okay, and tuck in that thread. Alrighty, let's snip, and I'm going to leave this here so we can work on it tomorrow too, I think. There we go, so we got all to here. Oh gosh, that's 2 feet. And then about another 2 feet on this side tonight. I feel really good about that. So, all right, I'm going to flip you around and we'll call it an evening here. All right, hello. So let me show you again how far we got tonight. So here's the top edge. From near, that's quite a bit, and about that same amount on this edge. So I'd say a good 4 feet in theory. So we got this little area of koala, you guys, done. Oh, I think this is where, oh yeah, so this is where, these are John and my koalas. So this is John's right there. There's his name there. And mine is right next to it there. So our 2 koalas, I think my mom's is somewhere nearby too. But fun. So all right, we'll continue on this tomorrow, and then again, remember you guys that this is the last evening to get your the Stitchin' Hedgie block here, or the embroidery of the month. And then on Saturday, if you guys missed our special live video that we did Saturday, we actually stitched a lining with a pocket into our bag. So I chose 2 different fabrics, and it still does the drawstring just fine, but it's going to protect protect the back of the stitches a lot. And so now I can just throw anything in here and I don't have to worry about hurting the embroidery at all. So there is we did a tutorial. We stitched a long time and we worked on that. But if you want to live, basically in real time, I should say, real time, do a lining for your quilt like this. It's really nicely stitched in there too. That was on Saturday, so check that video out. And again, tonight's the last night to get this bundle. The bundle does come with that pre-printed drawstring bag and all the floss and needle and everything. So last night for that, and then after midnight, the new July embroidery of the month will go live. So stay tuned to that as well. Check your emails tomorrow. And that's that. So thanks again, everyone. Nice chit-chatting again tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.